guys. Welcome to Growing Through Your 30s podcast. My name's Carmen, and these are all my friends, the Silk Ladies. We wanted to create a podcast to talk about all of the struggles and achievements and just general life of going through our 30s. Social media can be so fake, all those lives that you see on Instagram, all the filters and all the pictures specifically taken to show just a tiny bit of a person's life. So we want to talk about all the background stuff going on. We're a very diverse group of 30-year-olds or almost 30-year-olds, different ages and different lives, lifestyles, that kind of stuff. So we're average but relatable. Hopefully listeners will find at least one of us to relate to because we're all very different. And hitting this new chapter of our life, 30 is very different than 20. So talking about everything that we live through. So like I said, I'm Carmen.
I'm Tristy.
Amanda.
Madison.
Tiffany.
Becca! Okay, we think that you guys can get some either experience with what we've lived through or advice or generally just being a companion, growing and going through the same things together. You might get helpful tips, some insights of things, or just living through our failures and achievements together. Anybody else have anything to add?
So I just wanted to, I feel like we're doing this because there's no right way. There's no one way to be a 30-something-year-old woman. We all have a different journey, and it's very important for you to have a tribe that you can vent to. Sometimes it just makes things feel better to be able to say things out loud. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And just to kind of piggyback off of that, one of the reasons I wanted to participate in this is because it's really hard to feel normal and competent and understood. And so whenever we're not getting those in our lives, we have to get it from somewhere. And all of us have come together because we're full of love here and we just want to help.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, we call ourselves the Silk Ladies. We're just a bunch of friends. Most of us have known each other since high school, although not all of us absolutely hung out every day in high school. I've known Amanda. She's been my best friend since high school. Christy graduated with Amanda and I, but we weren't friends until later in our life, till our 20s or so. Yeah. Madison also went to the same school, but a few years younger, so we didn't hang out in high school. But
she wasn't cool enough then.
Tiffany is a year older than us, and she married one of our high school friends, so we've known her since high school because they've been together forever. And then Becca, her and I work together at many different places now. So elementary, preschool, and the YMCA. So, and we've just all come together and have become a really close, talk about everything type of friends. So we call ourselves the Silk Ladies because we're completely random, and we were at a concert, the 5 Seconds of Summer and Chainsmokers concert, and the lead singer, I actually had to look up his name because I didn't know what his name was. It's just 5 Seconds of Summer. And I don't even think I wrote down his name.
Luke Hemmings?
I was thinking Adam something. Okay.
Yeah. So that's unimportant. But he came out, hit the main stage in this beautiful silk blouse, but not once, twice within the same show, two different colors.
Yeah.
And we were like, man, he looks so good. We need that in our life. So they're at the concert. Was it just you and I who ordered them that night because we were fighting over? Because as soon as we saw those, they only had a handful of colors. So we're like, well, I called dibs this color. So we all went around, and some of us didn't get the colors we wanted because you took too long to get shirts, or last one in kind of had just the last few colors to pick from. But we all have these beautiful silk blouses, and we'll put a picture or we'll wear them one day so that everybody can see us and all of our beauty in these silk blouses.
Yes.
We've taken a friendship photo shoot in our silk blouses, so they're pretty important. So we are the Silk Ladies. Mm-hmm. So that is why we call ourselves that. That's who we are. I'll go ahead and introduce myself and a little bit more about me. I'm 32, almost 33. I turned 33 in April, and this is the time of my life where I've had to do the math and say, how old am I? So I'm going to be 33. I did the math. I'm a PE teacher. I've known since I was a little girl that I wanted to be a teacher. I would always play school with my sister, and of course she had to be the student and I had to be the teacher. So just knowing that since I was a little girl, I've had a not so average upbringing of parentals and just family life in that aspect. My mom divorced my dad when I was 1 year old. and then remarried my stepdad at a very early age like that. And so I've always just remembered having my mom, my stepdad, and my biological father all in my life and all together. And for holidays and stuff, my biological father never remarried, so it was just always this group of 5 of us going to all 3 parents, grandparents, to go do holidays. So it was such a blessing, and I didn't realize until now, going through that as an adult, how unrealistic that would be for many people. Like, my ex-husband and my new man would never go to the same family's house. So kind of blessing growing up like that. I do have one sister. She's 3 years younger than me, and she has a son, and he is considered, like, I consider him like my son. I've helped raise him several times. He's come to live with me, and I just wish he would just come to live with me forever, but, you know. I went to college at Pittsburgh State University in Kansas, and then at WSU, Wichita State University, all here in Kansas. Probably should have ventured out a little bit farther and explored life a little bit, but that's what I wanted to do. I've always had a love of learning, and I think that's what led me to be a teacher. I just love learning stuff. When people tell me about new things, I'm like, oh, how's that work? Have we Googled it? Like, I need to know more about this. I have started to dislike teaching a little bit these past couple of years because the overall general attitude from peers, students, adults, like their parents, administration, just the overall attitude of everyone has become really disrespectful. And PE in general isn't a subject that most people care about. And we have a cat somewhere. And just kind of that attitude of PE is just a babysitting class and nobody really cares about it has really brought me down teaching. So, you know, here we are on this podcast. Maybe we'll get out of teaching eventually. But I do still really love helping people, which is why I've kind of transitioned to maybe doing some life coaching for adults. And on the side of that, also, I've worked for the Y for many years since I was in college, and I'm a personal trainer a few hours a week at the Y after school. Definitely an extrovert, but I also grew up being very super duper shy, so kind of a mix of that now, working on just being more outgoing, not just the extrovert person. Music, I love music. I will always listen to music in the background of everything, singing, dancing, and I'm so happy to pass that on to my daughter. I've tried the normal white picket fence life, been married, also divorced to, I guess you'd call him my high school sweetheart. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
My best friend more than anything, but we did not have such a great divorce, and we don't really talk other than just parenting issues anymore. So now I've just refocused my life on being happy and not necessarily what you're supposed to go through, the college, get the degree, get the job, you know, that kind of stuff. So now I'm like, how do I be happy? What do I do? So I think that I'm a very loyal, honest, and disciplined person. I'm pretty confident, which I do say that has probably come from my ex-husband, has helped with that confidence. I'm a leader. I definitely have a take charge. Let's do this. Like, I'm tired of talking about it. What action are we going to take person? I'm on a very spiritual journey. Raised Catholic, went to Catholic school. Now trying to figure out just my spiritual aspect of that. I do need to get back on my fitness journey as well because I've been focusing too much on my spiritual journey. Very type A, huge list person, got a huge list, always organized, love routine. I love nature and animals. I'm a crazy plant lady. You can't see right now, but in my house I have over 100 plants. And I just enjoy having that energy, that living nature right here in my house.
We may just have to have a tour one day.
We might.
Yeah.
Of your plants.
Absolutely. I can almost name them all. There might be a few. I'm like, what's that called again? This is probably the least amount of animals I've had in my life at one time, like pet-wise. My ex-husband loved animals, but loved bringing them home for me to take care of. You know, I only have a couple cats and a dog, and we have a pig,
And chickens.
a lizard, and so I do have a lot, but that's still probably the least amount I've had at one time. I like to think of myself as athletic and coordinated, but that's kind of, I don't know, you know, how you think about yourself. I am obsessed with MTV's The Challenge, and that is the only TV show that I religiously watch, and we'll just go back if I'm bored and I need something to watch, I'll watch The Challenge no matter what season. Or some David Attenborough nature documentaries like Blue Planet. Love it. I do want to travel more, but that costs a lot of money, and financial burdens at 30 are no fun. Let's see. I struggle with my curly hair. And my favorite movies are Grease and The Fifth Element. Computer went to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Grease or The Fifth Element. Fifth Element's so good.
Yeah.
And Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I thought I'd have to throw that out there because we are going to talk about Christmas later.
Never seen it.
Well,
Me neither.
we should watch it.
No.
I've never seen it.
I've watched
What?
it. I will have your back, Carmen.
The last couple things on my list. I used to have a really top-notch memory. I used to like pride myself on everything that I can remember. But then I got pregnant and had a kid. That is the one and only like mom side effect that I have absolutely had, and my memory sucks. Although numbers, for some reason, really stick into my head. So I have a little bit, I guess. I don't have many fears in general. I do not like June bugs or cicadas. I don't want them anywhere near me. One time my ex-husband, he loves cicadas, threw one into my vehicle as I was reversing down the driveway, and I bailed. Car still rolling down the driveway.
Oh,
I had
no.
to jump in and save it. So I do not want those. They make such a creepy noise, guys.
Yeah,
like, how do you
they
know
do.
they're not
Yeah.
murdering people? We don't know.
I don't like crunchy bugs.
Ugh,
Like
ugh.
crunchy
Yeah,
bugs.
crunchy.
Just saying
The
crunchy
June
and
bugs
talking
that
about
fly
bugs.
into your
Ugh.
hair.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
yeah, get in there.
Yes.
No
I can't do
interest
it.
in those. I'm not
Ugh.
scared per se. I know I could squash one. I just don't want it near me. And I have no interest in seeing ghosts or like that kind of paranormal stuff. So I don't know if you'd call that a fear, but I do have a daughter who's 5, and I've been with my boyfriend Brian/B for about 3 years now. So that's wrapped me up in a couple minute segment there.
Awesome.
Tristy,
All
over to you.
right, my turn. So, okay, I am Tristy. I am 33 years old. I will be 34 this July. And I second that since I've turned 30, I cannot remember how old I am. I have to go back and think about it or do the math because it just was, I don't know, it just isn't a big deal. Like turning 30 wasn't that big of a deal to me. I didn't really care. I didn't have this fear of turning 30, but I've got there and now I'm just kind of like, it's just another birthday, right? So I am married to my husband, Matt. We've been married, it'll be 5 years this coming June. We've been together, I think it's been 8 years. It'll be 8 years this May as well.
And you guys met at one of their parties.
Yeah, we met mutual friends of Carmen and her ex-husband at an ugly Christmas sweater party. And yeah, that's how we met. He pursued me for several months, and it was finally in May when we went on our first date.
Who pursued who? Remember?
I know, right?
So together, Matt and I have an almost 12-year-old little boy. He will be, or 12-year-old, 12 months, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, what am I saying?
I was thinking
Months?
Logan.
I know.
was thinking
Sorry,
Logan
excuse
is
me.
not even that.
I was looking at months. He will be a year on June 19th.
January 19th.
Yes.
Take that breath.
I know, you guys.
Mom brain.
Yes.
It is. It's a thing.
Yeah.
I really thought I could mind over matter all this baby mama stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it on that one.
Well, yes, and then having 3 kids. So he will be 1 in January. I have a 10-year-old son from my previous relationship, and then I also have an 11-year-old stepdaughter from Matt's previous relationship. So together we've got yours, mine, and ours, and
Blended.
we're just blended and doing what we can. And I work at a dental office. I work at the front desk, kind of the front desk manager as of now. I've been there for 7 years. Not something that I had planned to do. I actually went to school at Emporia State University, planning to be an elementary education teacher. And about 2 years in, I just realized that wasn't really for me. I think growing up, I was the oldest of my 2 brothers. I was the oldest, cousin. I was that mom, that mother, figure. And I just liked manning everybody and being responsible for everybody. But then when I got into school and I realized that I'm going to have to be responsible for all of these kids, I don't know. It just didn't want to do it. So I kind of just did my thing for a while, took random classes to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. One day someone mentioned being a dental assistant up at Flint Hills Tech, and I just kind of brushed it off. And then when Logan was about 2 years old, I was trying to figure out what to do. His dad and I had separated. I was kind of doing the single mom thing. I needed to make a plan, and I don't know, that interested me, and I started to pursue that. Of course, I couldn't get into school to be a dental assistant unless you had experience, but then to have experience and be hired, they wanted you to be in school. It was kind of that catch-22.
Mm-hmm.
I found an office that was willing to train me. I did that for a year, and it really wasn't what I was expecting it to be. I did enjoy working in there and helping people. I was that weird kid growing up that if I fell asleep without brushing my teeth and I woke up at midnight, I would get up and go brush my teeth. Like, I have just been so, specific about my teeth that it was an interest to me. The lady up front quit, so I kind of moved up front, and that was my niche. I mean, I like to have, I guess I had more control over the situation. I was able to just structurize stuff and be, scheduling and phone calls and insurance and all that stuff. And so that's where I've been up front for 6 years, and I really enjoy it. Really like doing it. But again, it wasn't something that I had planned to do or went to school to do or anything. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now. And yeah, I guess that's about it.
And that's true.
So that's me.
Hey everybody, so my name is Amanda. I am a 33. I was rehearsing that in my head, and then we started talking about numbers, and now I'm second guessing, but 33-year-old mom. I have 3 kids. 2 of them are biological, so I have a 2-year-old and a 7-month-old, and then a 13-year-old stepdaughter. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of list off a couple things about me, and if you feel like you can relate to it, great. Maybe I can help you in your journey, and if not, like we've said, maybe some of these other beautiful women can help out. So, with me, I have my 2-year-old son has a very rare bone disorder. It's called osteogenesis imperfecta. He's type 4 mild, so if there's any other mamas out there or somebody who has it, hey, I might be your person. I am a clinical social worker, which means I'm a mental health therapist, and I'm also an addiction counselor. I went into addiction counseling because of my biological father. He struggled with an addiction and lost his life to it, and so now if I can help anybody, whether it's somebody who has a family member who has addiction, the actual person with addiction, I found that passion to try and just kind of help others from what I went through. I am very much similar to Carmen. I love learning. Oh, it's one of my favorite things. I read books every single day. If I'm not reading, I'm listening to my audibles and expanding my knowledge. And again, my passion is helping others. So I like to learn so I can help somebody else. Some of the things that I'm most passionate about are brain development, relationships, both micro. So, like, for example, these beautiful women, they're my micro relationships, to macro, which is in my community. What do I need to do to make a bigger difference to help? I love working out and eating well, lifting and running, 2 of my favorite passions. Now I love eating well, but I really, really love chocolate right now. It's my thing. I miss wine, so I don't know if anybody else gets migraines out there, but I get them really bad, and it's kind of taken my wine away from me, which is its own little beast. And I think that's pretty much me. That's right down to it. I have a private practice that I run, and I'll bring that up whenever we talk about holiday stressors and joys.
Sounds good. I'm Madison. I am 31 years old. I have not gotten to the point where I don't remember how old I am. When I was turning 30, I laid in bed and cried for 2 days. Was not ready for it. But I was also one of those, as soon as I turned 26, I cried because I was officially closer to 30 than I was to 20. So I've not gotten to that point yet. I know I'm 31. Like, I'm there right now. I might get to the point where I don't remember how old I am, but that's not happened yet. So. I am a single mom. I have a 7-year-old son who has autism. He was diagnosed at 4, but we kind of knew from about the time he was 2 years old that something was going on. He didn't speak. We went through speech therapy. He was evaluated by the Early Education Center here in town. We've been through with the mental health hospital here in town. So he does therapy. He does intervention. He has a one-on-one pair at school. So I have done everything possible to get him to where hopefully one day he'll be able to function be super high functioning to where he can live on his own. You know, they've said that with all the intervention that we're doing, he could possibly, you know, live on his own, have a job, have a family, which is huge. Where I work with people with disabilities, and for the last 5 years, I worked in an adult residential and day service facility. I ran the day program there, and so just seeing some of those people that how they grew up, you can definitely tell that some of them didn't get the resources that they needed, or they had family members who chose to not see that they had disabilities until it was too late. And I don't want my son to get to that point, so we're starting as early as possible. His father and I, we had a very volatile relationship. We split up when he was about 2. It took us a while to get to the point where now everything that we do is for his benefit. We get along. We're very civil with each other. I'm very good friends with his wife. As weird as it is.
It's important. It's so important.
Very good friends with his wife.
Support that.
And, you know, we just make sure that he's taken care of the way that he needs to be taken care of, and we communicate the way that we need to. Now, recently, within, I think, August, I switched jobs. I still work with people with disabilities, but now I work as a targeted case manager with a small conflict-free company, which is so much better, having conflict-free case management as opposed to being in a business where it's all lumped in together. And so I get to work with some great ladies that have been in the case management field for years, and so I'm still learning, and they're teaching me everything that I need to know. I own a house. I bought a house on my own with just my son and I, and so I'm also learning how to update and do home renovations. So yeah, I don't work out. I'm not a fan of working out. I love food. I'm learning how to bake. Carmen has been coaching me pretty recently. We started about a month ago, and so I'm learning how to portion control, and she's making me walk, and sometimes I have to do exercises where people out in public can see me. And,
We're motivating others.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. So I'm just working on it. Yeah.
Awesome. Nice.
All right.
Tiff.
All right, I'm Tiffany. I am 33, and I think I'm probably one of the older ones by like a few months. So I am at the point that I forget my age, because it was just maybe a week ago that I was asking Tony, because my husband and I are 8 months apart, and I'm like, "Are you 33 yet? Am I 33, or is it you? And are you?" I'm like, "How old are you right now?"
Well, you gotta do the math.
I know. And so, yeah, I'm 33. I have 2 daughters, and I've been married to my husband for 12 years. We've been together for 16 years. I'll be 17 this summer. It's crazy. But we met the summer after my junior year and started dating my senior year, and dated through college and everything after that. I did not end up graduating from college. I went in pre-law, poli-sci, was hardcore that I was going to get into politics and stuff. And then I kind of lost, I started questioning whether or not I want to do that. And I feel like once you start losing your drive, you don't know where you're going to. I just kind of quit school because I just didn't know what I wanted to do and if that was what I wanted to do. And Tony was in the Marines, and he got deployed to Iraq, so we got married. And so then the first year of our marriage was him in Iraq. And then, I don't know, life just kind of happens. And we had kids and moved to Oklahoma for a job, to a different state and everything, which I thought was going to be terrible at first. And I thought it was going to be horrible and I wasn't going to like it. And then I ended up falling in love with Oklahoma and loving it there. And I was kind of at a place where I thought, this was where I was going to be for the rest of my life. I was going to be buried there. I loved our community and stuff like that. And then life happens again, and we moved back home. And so I feel like right now I'm in a point in my life where I'm going through like a ton of change because it was just like the really suddenness of like it was a 6-month decision that we decided like we have to move back home. And so it's the suddenness of that. And then Tony had like a lot of career changes in that whole time. And then there was a pandemic and all that kind of stuff. So it's just been, so I feel like I'm in a point in my life right now. Like I feel you, Carmen, that I feel like I'm kind of in this really like, I was really depressed after I moved here. So now I'm like, okay, I need to get my shit together. And so I started like really getting back into reading because I kind of like dropped it and stuff, and getting back into like, I don't know, just kind of really finding out where I want my life going and stuff like that. But I homeschool my girls, so I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom, and that is something I love. It is something I never ever thought I would do. And then we had a friend that homeschooled their kids, and I really liked it. So then I decided to homeschool our girls, and then it was kind of jump-started because my oldest has a speech disorder that at the time she was diagnosed, they never thought she would be able to talk normally. So that was something that I wanted to move to homeschooling with. But then she's graduated from speech therapy, and she's good now. But it was something I never thought I'd see myself doing, and I am obsessed with it and love homeschooling, and is probably like my top favorite thing I do in my life. And so, yep, that is pretty much what my life is about right now, is homeschooling my girls, and just kind of like, you know, I think that's a 30-year-old thing of like reevaluating like where you are and stuff, because you have kids, you know, husbands, all that kind of stuff, and this is kind of where your life starts settling out, and then you're like, okay, because I think your 20s, you're just kind of rushing through life, and then your 30s, you're like, okay,
I just
like,
always
let's see
thought,
where,
I just
where
always
we are.
thought your life was gonna be how it is, like just different in 30s. Like everything would be where it needs to be, and I will enjoy living compared to like.
I
It's
thought I'd
just-
get married
It
right out
all
of high
falls
school and
into
have my,
place.
all
That's
my
not what's
babies by the
happening,
time I was
right?
25. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's what happened with, like, where I'm at, like, a coming of age right now is the fact that, like, you have to go through decisions in your life that weren't how you thought your life was going to be, that then you're like, okay, like, how do I want things to be? Because, like, I mean, we had, like, issues in our marriage, and then moving here, and I was depressed after we moved here because I was like, I didn't want to move back, and so I think it was just kind of like, then all of a sudden you're like, okay, my life didn't turn out how I thought it was going to, but, like, that's not a bad thing, and we need to figure out, like, where,
And my
what
life
I'm
doesn't
doing.
just get to end at that point. Like, I
Yeah.
have to keep going.
yeah.
I feel like I struggled financially and stuff in my 20s, but that was part of the 20s. You know, you had enough money to party on the weekends, but you still had to go to work. Now I feel like, oh, you're in your big kid job, so you should have more money, but you have just enough more money to cover the just more responsibilities, and so you're still in that loop.
Yes.
You're just older, and you haven't figured out, you know, your life yet. It's just you're a little bit older, so you have just a little bit more money to struggle just enough to survive and raise kids on it.
Especially when we think back to like our parents, like at our parents at our age right now, they were so adulting. And
Yeah.
were we
Were
adulting?
they though? If you
I don't
think
know.
about it, maybe they weren't. They were
Yeah.
struggling just like we were, but had no idea because they try and
Well.
keep it from the kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Hit us, Beck.
Yep.
Hey, girl, hey! My name's Becca. I'm 29, which I believe is the weirdest age ever. Still a little ways from turning 30, but almost there. You know, it's young enough to be crazy, old enough to know better, but sort of grown. Does it really matter? Trying to figure that out. I'm single, you know, but I think what I'm learning throughout all of this is don't look at the internet. People aren't posting their failures. And that's why I got all these beautiful ladies that help me grow each and every day to not compare, which is a struggle. We're human beings. Definitely an extrovert. I have a beautiful 4-legged best friend. She's a Siberian Husky. She's a little chubby, but we match each other, so it's great. I've always had the most random happenings occur. I can always tell you just a bizarre story of something that I learned that I didn't know was a thing. I'm obsessed with Chick-fil-A. You have to get the extra crispy fries. There is no other way to order.
They don't do
Oh,
that
what?
here.
I didn't know that was a thing.
They
Yeah.
won't. They won't
Yeah.
do it in Wichita.
Really?
We've asked. They
That
said it
sucks.
takes too much time.
Oh, it's
They're
so
quick
good.
though,
It's
Wichita.
so
they don't
good.
play.
They are.
They
Um,
are.
I think the most important thing that I found throughout my life so far is a passion and career in connecting children to Jesus and helping them grow in His Word. And I've been able to do that to become an early childhood executive director of a state licensed early childhood development facility. But it is nowhere near my best friends. It's here in Omaha, Nebraska, so I'm a little bit further away than I would enjoy most days. But technology has really helped us and grown us, and I just can't wait to we try to be sophisticated and grown, but we're not always like that. So go us. Let's do it.
Okay, so I had the girls come up with 3 words that they think of when they think of each of us. So what 3 words would you think of thinking about me or Maddie? And I compiled a list, and I'm going to leave off any word that would be super obvious. Like if one word on Tiff's was homeschool, I'm not going to say that because that obviously shows that it's Tiff. So I'm going to go and I'm going to read a list, and we're going to see if you guys can guess who the person is just based off of our list.
Okay.
Because there are some of us who have the same words as others,
Mhm.
so it might be a little more
Tricky.
difficult.
Incredible.
So, oh, we didn't move the mouse. I don't think it stops anything. I think.
It's at 10 minutes.
Okay.
So we'll
Okay.
keep an eye on it.
Look at you looking at the time, getting on it. That's why I keep you around.
I know.
We help each other out.
Okay, so my first one, and I'm not going to. Hang on, back. I gotta move it just a tiny bit. Okay. Let's see. You guys can't peek. Stop
I'm
looking. I have
definitely-
cheaters. I'm covered with cheaters.
Girl.
Okay. So my first one. Loyal. Helpful. Education. Talkative. Independent. Creative. Advocate.
Is this one
Mom.
person?
Yeah, one person. Mom. Personable. Organized.
Can I guess right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Carmen.
Anybody guess.
Tiffany.
Carmen.
I was gonna say.
I think it's
Tiffany.
Tiffany. Yeah.
That's totally Tiffany. I didn't say homeschool or girl mom. I thought girl mom would give it away right away,
Yeah.
or Hamilton, because I thought that would be.
It could have been
Why
me.
not?
It could have been me.
Hamilton's the worst.
Yes, that's what the girls were watching when I left. And I walked in the door and was like, again.
Okay,
Tony and I
the
are the same
next
on that.
one.
Yeah.
Christmas, joyful, kind-hearted. Bubbly was written several times.
Can we just guess right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Becca.
What else is she though?
The
Okay,
other
go on.
words are leader, loud, photographer, faith,
Good.
dependable,
Yeah.
organized, and thoughtful.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, no cheating.
Got cheating.
Okay. Can't say that one. The first one. Okay, let's go. Laughter, focal point,
Ooh.
loving, easygoing, a giver, singer, music, resilience, mama bear, real, concise, relatable, and nerd.
Maddie. Yeah, I could tell that one.
I waited for that last word because that was going to be pretty obvious. Okay, nerd. Okay,
So what was the one you couldn't say?
on yours.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah, you're like I
Musicals.
couldn't-
That's a
all
dead
right.
giveaway.
All right.
Okay. I should say, yeah, musicals. Okay, this one. No cheating.
No cheating.
Patient, clever, resourceful, responsible, supportive, good. Concerts.
Good.
Like lawful good. Like, you know that. I was trying
Not
to make
bad, but good.
concerts. Laugh, quirky, brainy, smiley, and Potterhead.
That's Tristy.
So I put the good one. I feel like I need to explain it. So like when you do that chart of like lawful good, like you are just all good person. You don't say
Absolutely.
things bad about people. Like you have all good intentions. Like I can sit over here and be like, that bitch about people, but you don't. You're just like, oh, you know, like you're so good.
This
You
is
are
going
good-hearted.
on.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, next one. Precise, ambitious, open-minded, music junkie, fitness, creativity, radiance, motivator, can't say those, love, determination, and everlasting.
That's Carmen.
Carmen.
Yes.
The two I didn't say were Carmen Gria, because I'm some sangria, and hostess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I felt like
Love
that,
it.
I would give it away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are both.
Are they?
Nice.
Runner, nurturing, optimist, healer, good listener, kind-hearted, mother, spiritual, wordsmith, witty, dedicated, shining.
That's
Carmen,
good.
did you do Wordsmith and Shining?
I did wordsmith. I didn't do shining though,
Oh, okay.
and I didn't say therapist. That one. Was on
Shining
here.
might have been me.
No, I put that.
Because just whenever you come into a room or whenever you're in a picture, your people's
Yeah.
eyes just automatically go to you.
Is it because I'm pale?
No, I don't know what it
think
is. It's just
because-
every time you walk in the room, I'm like, Amanda's here.
Oh,
She's here.
I think
Absolutely.
because
Yeah.
you're wire of
Yeah,
angels.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like what Maddie is saying when you do walk into the room, I think it's because it goes back to that kind-hearted. You literally care about the person and having that genuine connection
Yeah.
and saying, I acknowledge you, I care for you, thank you so much for being here.
It
Like,
like
that's just
radiates
like just
from your
screams off of
pores.
you.
You guys, I just got
It just
goosebumps.
radiates
Yeah.
from your pores. It's-
Thank you all. That's enough.
But please keep going.
I thought we did pretty good hitting
Yeah.
words like right on.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to transition to our segment on holidays, mostly Christmas, the joys and stresses.
I love Christmas.
She loves
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yep. When do you put your tree up?
Christmas.
It was
like
it before
Later
Thanksgiving
week,
this year?
probably the last week of September.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was before Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, way before Halloween.
We used to put ours up super early, and then after kids, we felt like we had to have like boundaries to the holidays of some sort because they like Halloween and all that.
I usually do
But-
2 weeks before Christmas. This year I
December
put it up
1st.
before Thanksgiving.
That should
We
be the
did before
Yeah.
Thanksgiving too.
I always go right after Thanksgiving, but
Yeah,
we always
same.
do Friendsgiving here, and it's so big I don't have room to actually get it out, so I really don't have it.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
I do have one tree still up in the corner. We can't. It's kind of there.
I would
It's there.
applaud you right
Yeah.
And we usually
took
are
the
the
big one.
types to keep our tree up after Christmas for a while too, but we didn't this year.
I like the light in the house, like the
Mine's
general.
still up.
Yeah.
Mine's down.
Yes.
I took it
Yeah.
the Sunday after. I thought it was
Orphans.
perfect.
I took all the decorations and other trees. We had 3 trees.
We
Because
took
you're
ours
still
down
up?
yesterday.
Is what?
Becca, you're still up?
No, I had to take it down because we had to put that TV thing up.
Oh, no. Mine is still up,
So I was
guys.
very,
Like,
very
Really?
stressed. Like, I was very
Lazy.
butthurt.
That's- I was
for, like,
gonna say,
good
you like
about
it's
it.
because of lazy.
I did it New Year's Day. Just didn't have anything else to do. Just get it,
Perfect.
put everything
Yeah.
away. But
Yeah.
I missed the light. I did
That's why I left
enjoy.
that little one
Did
up.
Enjoy
you?
that.
I think I talked to you guys about this. Like,
Yeah.
the people that literally can't stand it and take it down, not even like that night or the next day.
Mhm.
What?
Mine is kind of weird.
Yeah.
We took ours down pretty early for us, like on New Year's Day this year, but usually it can be pretty bad. Like I remember when we lived in the apartments, you called Tony one time because you were driving by our apartment. You're like, it was March, and you're like, "Is there a Christmas tree up?" And I'm like, "Yes." Are you coming at me right now? Like,
The last
That's
couple of
funny,
years, I
too.
left mine up for a long time. Just
February.
I hit that lazy level though.
I feel like I
It's
should
like, I just
take
don't
mine
want it.
down tonight
It's a
now.
lot of
You
work.
should.
well, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Tony had a day off on New Year's, and then on top of it, we start school again tomorrow, and so I was just like. I was like cleaning the house, doing everything, and I'm like, and so we were just in a mood, just get it
Yeah.
taken care of and put down.
I felt the clutter of all the Christmas decorations, so I
Yeah.
took it down.
Yeah, sometimes
Gotta
that
breathe.
gets me.
Yeah.
Like, I hate how everything's like moved around for your Christmas tree and all the Christmas decorations
Embrace
everywhere.
it, Tiffany.
Yes.
Embrace it.
No.
Well,
I
we
did get a
did-
new container to put all my Christmas decorations in.
Oh,
So I got an
organization.
container store.
Love it.
Yeah.
I just put it all right back in the box. I just put it in the basement
Mm-hmm.
and
Ziploc bags.
way
gallon
back
size.
when we
Okay.
were like 21, we would take our tree afterwards, and we would like our first house had this really like gross basement that we never used. And we would take our tree and saran wrap it and then
Oh,
put it
yeah.
down in the basement
Oh,
so it
nice.
wouldn't get dusty. And then at
Smart.
Christmas time, we just put it right back up.
Nice.
So
So
I
I
have-
have ornaments and all.
Yeah.
Ooh,
We're just
that would be
that's a
so
thing.
good. Can I do that in the
Yeah.
basement? Like we don't
do
really.
it.
go
It's
down
just
there.
Christmas basement then.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds nice.
So I was going to ask, it sounds like, does everybody do fake trees?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fake.
Okay.
Yeah. We
I
We
love
real
plants.
ones regret it.
Love them, but man.
we aspire to
Yeah.
do real ones, and it just never works out because number one, Tony couldn't wait that long to put up a tree, and it just they're more expensive, and we just always say we're going to do it, never.
Maybe
I'll
I'll
get
get
four
4
trees
trees
So-
next year and do
I
a
have
real
one of
one.
those air freshener things that like you can put in the trees
Yes.
to make it smell like a real tree.
Walmart
That's
actually
cool.
has a really
I do
nice
the
one.
candles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I don't like the smell of real trees, like the
No.
real
Yeah.
trees.
I
like,
do.
I don't like the smell of
Evergreen.
pine.
Oh, it
Yes.
smells so
Yeah.
good.
Is it
I
pine?
didn't used to, but
Yeah.
did I hit 30
Tony
and
is-
start liking that smell? I don't
Yeah,
know.
Tony's obsessed with
Maybe I need to try it again.
Gotta try it
pine
again.
scent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like when I was writing down the joys and stresses, the reason that I wanted this segment is because my list of stresses was longer than my list of joys for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if that's an adult life, like is that just everybody when they're hit an adult life? But
Yeah, you have to start
it's
doing it all.
stressful. Yeah, like you're in charge of it all, or like at least adult participant, and you have to
Yeah.
decide on all these events. So we'll just kind of go down our list of joys to start off with, and then we'll hit them with the stresses and call it a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my joys and the things that make me happy around Christmas, I love watching Violet open her gifts. So the absolute happiness of her getting something that she wanted, or I'll talk about it later on the stresses, sometimes her opening her gifts, but her opening something that she wanted and is happy about, like she just gets this, that, like, I don't know if I can even get that anymore as an adult. Other open presents that I got for them. It's not recording anymore.
Will it just continue? Yep.
Okay, so we're watching others open presents that I got for them. So just something about knowing that somebody's going to like what they got. Speaking of gifts, Tony's shirt is in the mail finally, and it's somewhere in between here and Texas.
Nice.
So
Nice.
our Secret Santa gift did not arrive on time or even in the right month. So we're working on it. But spending more time with family in general or loved ones, like getting Friendsmas and all that stuff. So the stress of, or the not having the stress of work and being able to spend some time, that's nice. Getting to be Santa as an adult is really fun and can be stressful also. But I love being able to get up in the morning and her rush out to her stocking and it be from Santa. Putting up the Christmas tree or having it up, or the 3 trees or however many that I have in the house. Looking at Christmas lights is one of my all-time favorite things. Getting a drink in the car and just having Brian drive us around. I don't want to be the one driving around looking at Christmas lights. I want to ride.
Find
Yeah.
rich people neighborhoods. Oh
Love
my
it.
gosh, they pay to get it done, and it is gorgeous.
Oh,
I found a good one.
That's what Carmen, Becca, and I did this year.
Man.
It was awesome.
I did
there's
too
this
this
like
year.
techno
Yeah.
Christmas one. What do they call it? Trap music?
It was.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
yes,
it's
I've
Christmas
heard
trap
of those.
music.
so
It's
good.
Christmas bumping.
Oh, it
Wow.
was so good. I just wanted to pop a lawn chair out in the yard and just
Right.
sit there and watch it.
Uh-huh.
Like,
I don't think
But-
it'd be weird.
really?
Yeah, I feel like it would be expected. If I went through the trouble, somebody better get a lawn chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
True.
when you go through trouble, I will.
I won't.
We'll all be there. Lawn chairs.
Yeah.
God, now I kind of feel like I should.
Yep. Eric, we need this done.
Yep.
And the last one on my list is just time off of work, especially with school and the stress of it and COVID and all that, just away from that stress hole.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
those
what
are
a
my
good
choice.
name for that.
Stressful.
Yeah.
I am already having the Sunday blues of going back tomorrow
Oh.
with every child in the building.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Anyone else have any other joys?
Next
What do y'all
joys.
like about Christmas?
Oh, that was pretty similar.
I slipped in a lot.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I got my
No.
7-month-old, 7 o'clock. Got my 2-year-old, 6:30. So that doesn't exist.
I taught Violet how to sleep in.
My
Yeah.
son's finally at that
Teach
age
your
where like
children
I
that.
can wake up enough to like feed him and all of that, and then what are you gonna do today, buddy? I'm gonna play in my room, and he will go play in his room, and I will lay down on the couch.
That's a good life.
Yeah.
I had to
That's
call
really
Tiff
nice.
and be like,
Some
can your
independent
girls
play.
come play? So Violet's just off of my leg. Like,
Yep.
nope, she needs somebody.
I think for me, I have a lot of joys for Christmas. I absolutely love just the traditions that you get to make. And I think what's also a really big misconception about traditions is like they have to be what you do from year to year to year. Like you can start a tradition at any point. And I think that's what's been really exciting for our family. Like Carmen talked about, Christmas lights has always been a thing, but like we started, the giving tree is really big, so we always pick 2 items off the giving tree. We can't always get everything on their list, but we get 1 or 2
Can you
items. And I
explain
think
the
Rappy
giving
from
tree?
donating those.
Can you explain the giving tree? Because that was new to me, and I thought it was the coolest thing
Yeah.
ever.
So whether it's a church or whether it's like the Salvation Army or even just outside of like banks sometimes do it. I know
We
in
do it at
Dayton
school.
Bank
Do you?
West did it. You basically have kids that either are lower income or just might not have gifts for the year or just need the actual needs, not the ones of Christmas. So like pajamas or a new toothbrush, or it could be like a doll or something that they never would ever get on their own. And you go and you get to purchase that. And the other big misconception too is it's not just like children. I mean, we've given to a young adult before who's 21 that just wanted a prayer blanket, like literally just a blanket, or a family and they wanted new sheets for their bed. So that's been really eye-opening of like just seeing what people ask for Christmas outside of like your friends and your family. Like that's been really fun to do. Or just we do a really big pajama drive and we donate pajamas to different nonprofits or different just community areas in the city that could use and donate them, whether it's for like domestic violence, people, whether it's for adoption agencies. That's always been really fun. But I love traditions, whether that's watching your favorite Christmas movies, looking at Christmas lights, baking, giving gifts, all of that fun stuff is really awesome. I also love that I get to say Merry Christmas. Like, I love that I get to say Merry Christmas at any store, at any place, at any time. And I remember going Black Friday shopping, and I already said it, and I got all these looks like, already? I'm like, yes.
Already.
It's socially acceptable now in everyone else's heads. It's after Thanksgiving, so we can say it, and I love saying it. And just the joy that Christmas brings. We always talk about be kind, be nice. I just feel like, I don't know if it's the holiday or what it brings, but I just feel like everyone's just more joyful and more happy.
You can say it. Go ahead. Hit us
We're
with a
willing to,
Merry
like,
Christmas.
say thank you and like say Merry Christmas back. I don't know.
Can we
But
normalize saying Merry Christmas like year round?
Just go ahead. Becca, hit us with a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas! I just love all of those things, and being around your family, and obviously I really enjoy the church feel and the songs that you get to sing and the carols that you get to sing are just a whole different feel as well. So I could just talk about Christmas all day long. Love it.
I can talk about the stressors of Christmas.
Yeah, me
all
too.
day
I got
long.
a list.
Yes, I think we all
Okay,
have a
so
list of
next year,
stressors.
podcast idea, Becca just gets to talk about Christmas.
Becca
We'll
gets
just bring you
I
out
can
and
wrap
watch.
gifts.
Yeah.
I can show you how to make bows.
Yes.
Yeah.
She wrapped my presents this
I
year.
am so bad at wrapping presents.
I love wrapping presents.
Tony is really good at
Give
them.
me those 90, 45-degree angles.
Nice.
Becca wrapped, like, we did our
Like,
Christmas shopping when she was in town, and she wrapped all my presents for me.
That's awesome.
I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
So we have to add in that we did Friendsmas for the first time.
We
this
did
year.
Friendsmas
Oh, yeah.
for the first
And it was
time.
so
Oh,
fun.
murder mystery
really
party.
good.
That was legit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give
that
me
was
money.
interesting. We tried a murder mystery party. It wasn't like super fancy where we got in our outfits or costumes and stuff. We just sat around our table trying to figure out who done it. And it was fun. We didn't know what to expect, but it was a blast watching everybody accuse each other, trying to figure out the clues. And
I know Maddie was coming after me hard,
it
but
was,
you
she
know
was
what?
supposed to. That's what she was supposed to
Yeah.
do.
For sure.
It
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think it was wrong. I don't think it was
You
Tiffany's
still
fault, but
did
I think you did it.
I'm just a part of a what's it called, a mob over here. So
You were. You were a gangsta,
Oh, a gangsta.
Ruby Snappa. Well, anybody else on the joys? Are we ready to hit these stresses hard?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they hit us hard, so
I
let's
know
hit
they
it back.
do. So, big stressor on my list, being rushed. It's one of my pet peeves. Don't rush me.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Like, be in that snap last night saying why we're going to be late. Don't rush me.
We
guys-
know why we're
yeah,
going to be late.
like-
You don't have to remind me and make it worse.
Yeah. Well, we weren't
Yeah.
even late when my mom was rushing us out of the house for dinner and stuff. Like, stop it. We're going to sit in our car for 20 minutes waiting on to go somewhere. So
Right.
just
Tony
chill.
is like super on time, but like not even on time. He has to be early to everything. And so what he'll do is he'll tell me we're running late when we're not, hoping
Smart.
that I'm in a rush and won't look at the clock. And then he'll be like, we have 5 minutes till we have to go. So I rush out and I get out into the car and look at the clock and we're fine. We're
Yeah.
fine. We're early.
Oh,
He's just going to get me
I
in a bad
start
mood.
getting like
Yeah.
flabbergasted.
Yes, I
I'm like,
know.
what?
That's what I
Yeah.
told him. I'm like, what the heck, Tony? I didn't even put on perfume or I didn't put on earrings real quick because I thought we were running late.
Yeah.
Can we maybe have a session on bullet journals? Because in my bullet journal
On the
is
list.
I am not going to leave the house flustered. Every day I want to be
Ooh,
able to
that's a
check
good
that out.
one, though.
Yeah, it's hard.
Putting it on the list.
But I've done it.
I mean,
2 days
how is
now.
that possible when you're
Yeah.
a mom and you're always the last one out the door? Like, you're making sure everyone else is being cared for. Like, how can you
Does-
guarantee
And not
that?
ourselves, because I forget
Leaving the
coats
house
often.
with children and not being flustered go together.
I don't know if it does, but
I
I'm
don't
trying.
I know that so I cannot keep time for anything ever unless it is an event at Carmen's house. And then I have to show up like 15, 20 minutes early because I don't want to be the last person to walk
I
in.
think you're normally the first.
I
Yeah.
am. And there was one day that I was like 30 minutes late almost to Friendsmas. Was it
Friendsmas,
Friendsmas?
But
Yeah.
you were like the second one here, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
you
I was still
were-
30
yeah.
minutes late, and I
Yeah.
was so mad. I was so mad at myself. So
Yeah,
yeah,
how
but
embarrassing.
anywhere else, right? I mean, but everything else, I have no time management.
I've just learned no matter how early I'm ready, Violet can somehow take another hour, however long she wants, but we will be late no matter what
Mhm.
because that child just can't get it together. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Stop judging your friends who have kids, guys.
God,
We
it's-
try
yeah,
hard.
it's
We start the
so
night before.
hard.
Get
and
them
it's
buckled and
Set
everything
the
in the
clothes
car.
out.
And
Oh.
then they're like, I have to pee.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're
Yeah.
on kids, and that's
We're
a
getting
whole
closer.
18 podcast. Christmas.
Okay, coordinating gifts with others like siblings. Like,
Mhm.
Heather, what are we going to get for mom and dad this year? That, stop it. I just don't want to do that anymore. That's so
Yeah.
hard.
Get your own damn gift at
Yeah.
this point.
Like,
We're
yeah.
adults.
The financial struggle of buying gifts,
Mhm.
just in general. That's a lot of money.
It really is.
So,
Or like
and I don't
when you're
make
giving
extra
gifts
money.
to others and you don't really know, like they give you a gift, but like, are you supposed to give a gift back? Like, what's the proper
Yes.
etiquette on
Yeah.
giving when
Yeah.
you don't really like know that person? Because I know Christmas is about the giving, like the givingness. Like you shouldn't always expect something in return, right? But like, what's the proper etiquette if someone you don't really care for gives you a gift? Do you get them something?
I would
That's
say
what
Where's
Yeah.
the limit on the gifts?
Yeah.
Like your kids' teachers, your kids, like all
I'll
these
take
things
gifts
that
as
I'm just
teachers,
like,
guys. I'm just
I got
kidding.
some
Yeah,
things for my kids'
please.
teachers.
I,
Yeah.
I did not, when Annie was in preschool, I didn't, and I didn't know it was a thing, and then everybody else came with gifts. And I'm
Not
like,
everybody
oh,
does
great,
it.
Great.
There's a handful of kids that do it.
I had 4 teachers to get gifts for this year.
Yeah,
That's
you
a lot.
got a lot of gifts.
I saw somebody talking about getting gifts for their kids' teachers, and they were like bringing up like $20 gifts. I'm like, what?
That's a, like I don't
What?
make more money in Christmas, like December.
But this goes
I
back
don't-
to comparing. Like
Yeah,
that
I
family
don't
can do
prepare.
that, and that should be great. That doesn't mean you should feel like you should do that. But like, it is stressful though, like because you're going back and forth,
You're good at
so you don't know what's right
Not
and
for
what's
gifts,
not.
apparently.
That's because you're expensive and no one wants to
I
do
know.
it.
I can't make more money. Like I mean,
can't
I-
grow it.
yeah.
Well, maybe we can.
I always
Props.
say I'm going to get gifts early and then put it off
Yeah.
until like the last minute.
I have a
See,
list started of what people want. Like if Violet says something, I'm like, oh, I should type that down. I should put that on my list. Or if Brian
No,
says
I
something, I'm
always
like,
will take
oh,
a
I'll do
picture.
that.
Hey, you
Yeah.
guys, can I admit something? Okay, so I thought I was doing okay. I got everybody gifts that I should have, except for my partner. I got him a couple. I started opening the gifts he got for me, and they are gorgeous and beautiful, and it costs a little bit of money. And so he was opening gifts, and then last minute I had an idea of a gift I should have gotten for him. And I said, hey, just so you know, your gift isn't in yet. It's running late. And I went to the mall, and I got it the next Monday.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's an
Nice.
idea if you guys ever need it. He
Nice.
I
doesn't
will
know.
say I
Hopefully he doesn't
miss-
watch this.
Cody would always, the ex-husband would always give me one piece of jewelry for Christmas
He's a
because that's
great
what his
gift giver.
dad did to his mom.
Oh, yeah.
And now,
That's
how do I
cute.
bring that up to Brian? Like, can you just give me a piece of jewelry over
Yeah.
Christmas?
He doesn't need to know the origin.
Yeah.
Just be like, this is what I like.
You
Tony
know, do you
never
just
gets
start
me
leaving
jewelry,
magazines
ever.
around?
Well, you know how at Christmas the like jewelry
Yeah.
magazine comes out?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
me, I like this one and I like this one. Like,
Yeah.
Tony is not a jewelry buyer. He does not even
Yeah.
think about it. And I brought it up one time, and he was like, I got you a wedding ring and an engagement ring. Like,
Oh, Tony.
those are lifelong. And so then finally he got me diamond earrings for my 30th birthday, and a month later I lost one. And I
Oh,
felt
no.
so bad. And it wasn't even my
Tiffany!
fault.
Just get a
They
fake
were
one,
in
not
my
tell 'em?
no, I told him because like they were in my ears. I had never taken them out, and then all of a sudden one time I was like, "Wait a second, there's not an earring there. Where did that earring go?"
No.
I don't know, guys. My favorite Christmas present this year was I got a new kitchen table and chairs. So
That
That's
is-
nice though.
that's
That's
amazing.
30-year-old. Like you
Yeah.
hit the 30 where you
Uh,
bring a kitchen table as a present.
best grown-up presents
Socks.
is
Love it.
our brother and sister-in-law gave us a Nest, the like the Nest
Yeah,
thermostats,
that
and
would
we
be
were like,
cool.
yes.
That'd be cool. We've talked about one of those, but we haven't got it. It's expensive. Okay, down the list. Driving or traveling. In general, my family doesn't live here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Stupid.
When I lived in Oklahoma, that drove us
Ugh.
nuts. having to drive all
Like
the time.
the time off of work spent driving.
Mhm.
Like if I want to go
And then
for a weekend trip, you think of that, but man, enjoying the holidays,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sleeping at someone else's house, like my parents' house.
Yeah.
I cannot find a comfortable spot in that entire house to sleep ever. Like my mom's bed, it's indented, so we all roll in. The other bed is indented, so we all roll in. We can sleep on the lazy boys, but then you're just sleeping in a chair all night, and that's not comfortable. And of course, Violet has to come find us or sleep with us wherever. I wake up in so much pain every time I stay at my mom's house, and I feel so bad because I'm like,
Oh man.
can we just
My
we
kids
all go in
sleep
on a good
terrible.
mattress or
That's what I was
something?
gonna
Can they
say.
come
Yeah,
here,
because
maybe?
my kids don't sleep, which
My
means I don't
kids
sleep.
sleep
Right.
horrible
Yeah.
everywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teaching gratitude to her kids. So earlier when I was talking about watching Violet open her presents, like she would open one, she goes, I don't want this, and just toss it. And I'm like, you are so embarrassing right
Yes,
now,
or
child.
Logan would be like, I already have this.
Yeah, and I'm
or
like, that is
I
not-
got another one, and it's like, oh my gosh, no.
Yeah,
that's
learn how to
not
fake
how
it
we
like the
do
rest of
Yes,
us.
we
So-
will do something later with
Garfield
it.
just opens a box, and if it's closed, he's like, cool.
Yep.
And then he goes for the next
Yeah.
one. I'm like, please take time to enjoy the
Yes.
gift that
My
you've been
girls,
given.
the point to
Appreciate
them is to open the present, not the present. They just get so excited, like ripping open paper,
Yeah.
and they're just like ripping open paper, toss the present, ripping over paper. And I'm trying to tell people, like, they just are really excited about the opening.
It's hard. Like, how do you do that when they're so young? Because she's 5. She should understand a little bit. But, I mean, Violet, you can't
No.
you can't say you don't want something. Like, it's
Or
rude.
maybe they can. I don't know.
I know,
Why
right?
are we
Is it
making so many
acceptable?
excuses for these poor ass little kids who are
I
just
know.
trying their best to
I know,
live
right?
and
True.
love and be happy? And
I
here
mean,
we are
to
trying
be
figure it out.
fair, their family members should be asking their parents, like, what do they want?
Yeah. Well, normally we get a group family text message, hey, what y'all kids want?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
everyone's like a boom, boom, boom.
I started doing Amazon wish lists because I'm
That's
so
smart.
tired of like the
Mhm.
It
millions
is
of
smart.
that
My
too.
parents won't do that. Like, they've hit their
I
age where
know.
they don't want to do technology stuff. I
Yeah.
don't even know if they have an Amazon account.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They don't have to get it on
I live with
Amazon.
my mom,
They
so
can
I
go
know
to
she
Walmart
does.
and find it.
True.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
just send the
True.
link.
I did
But-
watch this little video of this little boy opening up some shoes. Super excited. But before he even opened the box, he was putting his trash in the bag. And I was like, oh my gosh, someone's taught
Who
him
trained
so
that kid?
well.
Yeah.
So Violet
Awesome.
kind of does that a little bit, but she gets
How
a little
funny.
but she'll clean up a little. That was super funny. So they can learn how to clean up after themselves, but not be thankful about random gifts.
Like, I think that is the stressor that, like, Christmas Day, it's like the mom's job to pick to keep the house picked up and everything and
Oh,
all the
doesn't
mess
happen.
of all the stuff.
I try, but no.
And then Tony will
But
be like,
personally, for me, on the other flip side, I mean, how much a mom truly makes your Christmas special should be a joy and like literally bright up your whole world. Because shout out to moms, because Christmas wouldn't be Christmas unless there was an awesome
Yeah.
mom.
yeah,
Thanks,
True.
girl.
yeah. It's
You guys rock.
so true.
So I didn't have to do this year, or maybe the last couple years, but just planning events in general. Like with my ex-husband, we had like 4 or 5 events that we had to try and plan in a couple days. Luckily this year, we just had my one family that we went to. We didn't go to Brian's for some reason,
I
but
think COVID reduced that so much. 'Cause
Yeah,
I used to have to
that's
go to
true.
5 too, and I didn't enjoy
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
oh no,
same
it's
here.
so difficult.
Yeah, normalize not having to go.
Nice.
it. Just one or
Keep
two
that.
maps.
Yeah.
Yeah, one small family, one big family. Everybody figure it out. If you don't like your ex-spouse, figure it the
Yep.
F out. Because
Well, that's my
Yeah.
next one too. Is like some of us have step families,
Mhm.
and sharing holidays and trying to coordinate plans with not only our exes, but then our significant others' exes and their kids, and it's just a cluster. It's too
Yeah.
much. So much.
Yeah.
Where do the kids want to go? Just send them.
Right.
You don't want
Yeah.
to come? That's fine. Go.
that's on
like-
you.
Like my stepdaughter's presents are still here. She hasn't been here, so we'll see how that goes. So when Violet and then my nephew Wyatt opened presents together, they already started fighting over sharing because they were super excited about seeing what each other had, but then they didn't want to share theirs. And I'm like, oh my god, the holiday spirit.
Yeah.
Gratitude
Just
and
back
sharing.
out of it though. Don't kill
Yeah.
each other.
Yep. Just nobody. I told them nobody's bleeding and no one's dying. You handle it. But that's when they start talking to each other and like,
Oh, yeah.
It's like, man, I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't step in.
I know. And then being Santa was on my list of joys, but then the fear of being caught being Santa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I was in a spare room putting gifts together for Violet and Brian's stocking. And then he comes and knocks on the door like a little low knock, and I'm like, oh, Violet's awake and she's found me.
Mhm.
No, it was just him telling me he was done with my stocking. I'm like, why would you even come and try and scare me that I ruined Christmas? Like, I ruined Santa.
come
so
up with a
the
story
fear of being
I
caught.
know him.
Yes.
Declan doesn't. Declan for the last few years he's spent Christmas Eve, like evening and Christmas Day with his dad. And then I get him like in the afternoon. Normally we go to Texas, and so he's just always had him for Christmas. So we didn't go to Texas this year, so it was a whole thing trying to plan that. So I really haven't ever been able to be Santa because
So
he always does Santa at his dad's.
on like for us custody wise, we've always split. One of us gets Christmas Eve, one of us gets Christmas Day. And Cody was yelling at me this year that he just wants it to just be one holiday, and I'm like, but no, she wants to go to both places.
Mhm.
She wants to open presents at both places around Christmas. So why? I don't know. How does yours work?
That was ours is a mess. Our original paperwork says whoever has Christmas Eve, it's from noon to 6 on Christmas Eve. The person that has Christmas Day has the overnight, Christmas morning, Christmas Day.
Mhm.
His dad can't seem to get that straight. He's always thought whoever had Christmas Eve had Christmas morning,
Mm.
and then the person had Christmas Day. And every year it's a fight, and it's so confusing. Last year we were supposed to get my stepdaughter. We didn't get her, so we went ahead and let him have Christmas morning because Logan has 2 younger sisters at his dad's house. So it was like, okay, we don't have anybody here. Go ahead and let him have. They can have the overnight and the morning, and then we'll just spend the day with him. So this year I had kind of asked if we could flip it since we would have my stepdaughter and the baby was here. And it was so confusing. His dad apparently didn't understand what I was asking, and I tried to take him over there for Christmas Eve. And then he got all upset because I thought I have him Christmas Day, and we ended up getting him Christmas Eve and Christmas morning. So apparently that's going to be the thing from now on: is whoever has him Christmas Eve has him Christmas morning, and then
That's what we
Christmas
did.
Day is the day only.
So
It was
we
just,
had
so
Christmas
stressful.
Eve to open presents here, and then Christmas morning she was able to see her stocking. And then he really tried to come get her at like 8 in the morning or wanted to. And I was like, no, like give her a second. Like come at 10 or so.
Mhm,
So that she
yeah.
could then go open stockings at his house and then do presents throughout the day and stuff there.
Yeah.
But that's a stress in general. And then do we wait until they just naturally figure out that Santa doesn't exist?
I have no
hoping
idea.
that that's
Elf
how
on
it
the
is.
Shelf. I don't even remember how
I
I
hate Elf.
found out that Santa was
I
real.
found out the
Probably
Easter
siblings,
bunny wasn't
right?
real. We found trash. We found trash in the dumpster in the backyard. The
Nice.
Easter bunny stuff. So then at that point, it was like, well, none of them are real.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
I don't
So
remember.
everyone
I
wipes
just
them
had
all out.
kids
yeah,
at school.
I just
think.
automatically
Yeah, I
assumed.
feel like kids at school.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then you gotta
I-
look like a doofus.
Well,
and-
and that's
Right.
why I
Yeah.
like check out other people's kids because my kids won't find out from kids at school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, so does everybody else's kids like know about Santa? Like, how does this work?
Yeah.
Well, there's that
And-
one story. There's some kind of book, like once your kid finds out that Santa
Yeah.
isn't real, and then
Oh.
it transitions to, well, we're all Santa. And so
I
this
saw
kid,
that.
yeah,
and
so it's
like
out there, guys.
now
Google it.
it's like
Okay.
your
Yeah, it's
part
really
to like,
beautiful.
to help in like the Christmas spirit and all
Yeah,
that. I thought that was
fun.
really cute.
See, and I didn't know about the elf on the shelf. My stepdaughter kept asking, well, where's your elf? Where's your elf? And I'm like, we don't have one.
I
You know, she
think it's
apparently
so
has
creepy, and I
apparently
will.
each kid gets an elf.
Yep.
So
Oh,
at
I
her
just
mom's
have one.
house, they have
They got
3
basic.
elves. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's a lot of elves.
Creeps me out.
It
Yeah.
creeps me out the whole idea that this doll is like moving in your house.
Yeah.
I just set it out like decorations. I put it in one spot,
Uh-huh.
and they just know that it's
He's just
watching.
there.
But then they're
That's a
they're
good
smart
idea.
about it because you're not supposed to touch it; it loses its magic. Well, Wyatt starts yelling at Violet, "The elf's watching you," and she goes, "Well, I'm going to touch it so it loses its magic and can't go back to
Oh,
Santa."
no.
That's smart.
And you're not going to
actually.
get anything. You're going to get coal.
I'm kind of proud of that.
I know, right? I was kind of like, "Oh, she's so smart," but at the same time, like, kid.
Yeah.
A big stress for me in figuring out how to manage co-parenting and presents for the first several years. I definitely felt competition. Like
Mhm.
he would buy her love with these presents, and I'm like, well, I have to like keep up because I'm the one doing all of the parenting throughout the weeks and stuff. Like,
Right. Dang it.
so she has to have this competition with who gets the best presents where. I feel like it was just really. This year was finally the first year I didn't feel that, and I think Brian really helped out with that, saying it's not a competition. You know, like it was really hard for me because I'm a competitive person in general. So feeling like no matter what he gets her, she'll be happy here was really a struggle. Like I was upset with the just low number of presents she had here. But that's definitely a huge stressor.
Do you typically find out before Christmas? Do you guys share, this is what I'm
Wouldn't
getting?
imagine Cody would
So
do
the
that.
first
Or
year
how-
when we were splitting, it was right around this time, and we had bought presents from Amazon just together. We came up with what to get her, and then he actually had someone come to the porch and get them while I was out of the town when they got delivered, and
Oh
tried to
my
claim them all because
gosh.
he bought them, and we shared money at that point, so it
Mhm.
wasn't he bought him, I bought him. And so from that, the next year he tried to say, what does she want for Christmas? And I'm like, why would I tell you? Like, you
Yeah.
talk to her all on
Right.
your
Let me
time.
do a quick shout out to Coach Carmen real quick, because part of what she's going to do, and it's going to be a lot, but one target audience is women who are going through difficult divorces with ex-partners who are making it extremely hard to cope with. She is a master at this, and she's done a lot of learning, and that is one teeny tiny example of what her ex-partner has put her and baby Violet through. So if you need help with that, talk to her. Yeah, no, I mean it.
Yeah, I mean, he does anything that can be difficult. I'm enemy number one
Mm-hmm.
at everything. So definitely, like, the stealing of the presents off the porch. And even the person who did it, I'm not going to throw under the bus because I love this person. But I was like, how could you do that?
Mhm.
Well, I was just told to do that. I didn't know backstory, nothing. Like, they just
Right.
didn't know. And I'm like, well, I don't have any presents now. It's like the week before, and that was what we had decided to get. We were just, obviously being raised with the two dads, I was expecting something a lot different.
Right, yeah.
And so I didn't think there was going to be this fight. Even the picking her up at 8 in the morning, I was like, what's best for Violet? She's not going to want to be ripped away from her stocking stuff that quickly.
Mhm.
Like, just give her just a little bit of time to play and then go do the stockings at your house because you'll have her to do it all again. So,
Well, it's hard when the ex puts their emotions before the kid, and I feel like
Yeah.
that happens so much. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
yep, I think the last couple things on the list we've already kind of talked about. Like, traditions can be a lot of work. Like, we had a cookie fiasco this year. I was too tired to make cookies from scratch, and I love baking from scratch, and I've taught Violet how to do a lot of that too, but I was just too tired. I just was exhausted from doing the family stuff, and so Brian had bought one of the, like, tubes of cookie, so we followed the instructions, and we rolled it out, and we used our cookie cutters for that, and so
Yeah.
then you put it in the oven. When you open that oven, it was a sheet of cookie. All
Oh,
of them,
no.
all of the cookie cutters had melted together into one giant sheet of cookie, and I was like, "Oh my
Oh,
gosh!"
that's just like a cookie pie.
But
Yeah.
she's gonna remember
She
that
ate
though.
it.
She's
And
gonna
she can still
remember
cut them after it's cooked.
Remember that one Christmas we totally messed up the cookies.
And then I was just mad because we went through all the work to
Yeah.
roll it out and
Yeah.
dirty all those and all the cookie cutters because nobody likes
Yeah.
washing those. I don't have a dishwasher, so washing like 15 cookie cutters by hand, and I was just like, it's too much.
That's
Yeah.
why I bake cookies at my mom's house.
Yeah.
That's where we did
Good
our
call.
gingerbread cookies.
We can't cook at my mom's house. She's too OCD about the cleaning.
We normally we just to do that get the sheet of cookies, cut them out, and then just buy the icing.
Yeah.
And my mom always would make homemade icing as a kid, and so I just always wanted to try
pretty
that.
easy.
Yeah.
I did it this
Yeah.
year because it was on a box of something, and we did it, and the kids wanted to do it, and they probably had more fun making the icing and
Yeah.
coloring the different colors than actually doing the cookies. Because
Yeah.
then they left, and I had to do half the
Yeah.
cookies by myself because everyone was gone by that point. But it was fun.
And the last thing, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. I was just saying we did a lot of cookies this year because Tony found a recipe that he felt nailed it. So they did
Nice.
Christmas cookies like 3 or 4 times in December.
Nice.
We
That's a lot of
constantly.
cookies.
Wow. Yeah.
So the last thing on my list is just anxiety going out shopping with so many people, even for those last minute, even if you still prepare, there's always something that you have to get, I feel. So the anxiety of so many people out, and I know it's more this year, but I feel it in general most years. I don't want to go out and deal with the crowds. But even this year, like, one of Violet's things she asked for that she's really been wanting is a kitten. And I'm like, we already have 3 cats.
Oh,
Brian
a real
brought-
kitten. Okay.
Yeah, no, she wants
Okay.
a kitten. And so we'll go to the pet store to get food for stuff, and we have to go look at the little cats in there, and they've had kittens recently. And so we were just in there. We got our pet food because we had to have it. We couldn't avoid going to this store because it's live crickets, and I've tried to get them ordered online, and it was a fiasco. But going in there and looking at the kittens. So we're in this tiny little area where you just go in this room, and they just have the little cages of cats. And this other mom and old daughter, like high school, maybe even older, come in with their mask down and literally just try and look at the same 2 kittens in this one cage that Violet's looking at, and I'm like, we have to move away from these people.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you move a 5-year-old away from kittens when you can see she's so happy? Just give us
Yeah.
a second. We're all about taking turns, and I teach her how to be respectful and, you know, the right thing to do, but then they come and boop her out of the way, and I'm like, oh,
And then
it's
you
such
teach
a
her how
struggle.
not to be.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
just
Struggle.
in general during the holidays, like, a lot of them just suck.
Yeah.
I think it's because
And
we're
I don't
also
like using
stressed
that
about
word.
it, though.
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
using that word to talk about people, but they just suck.
I don't think a lot of people have just general courtesy for others anymore.
No.
It's hard.
It is hard.
We try and look for the good, but when everybody's so worked up and stressed about everything, I think people can get on a one-track mind, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I was a jerk to this person," and don't even realize.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then try to teach your kids great things through all of it.
You're right. And one thing that I try and preach to people are good. People mean safety. When people are around, that's a good thing. But then there's so many difficult examples of that, and it's like, man, now I look like a fool. But I swear, people are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So overall, I enjoy Christmas for the joys. Sometimes the stresses. I feel like my list is longer, but they don't necessarily outweigh. Like, I'm still
Yeah.
happy around this holiday, and especially like the time off and with family. So in general, I like the holiday, but there are a ton of stresses.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have anything else before we sign off?
One, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but the buying gifts for people, trying to coordinate, like, with my husband, like, what to buy for, like, his family, because obviously I do all the shopping, I buy for everybody, I do everything. Are we doing gifts for your siblings? Are we just
That's
doing
a
gifts for
lot.
parents? Like, what
Yeah.
are we doing? So I didn't buy for any of his siblings or nieces or anything this year, and then he waits till the last minute, and then, I went out and spent $80 on gifts for all these people. And I'm like, well,
No.
why are we doing that?
Yeah.
And then we get to Christmas, nobody had any gifts for us, and that comes back to
Yeah,
are we doing
etiquette.
it for
Yeah.
what are we doing or not?
Yeah.
And now, do they feel awkward because they're like, "Oh my gosh, we didn't give them anything"?
And I don't know. And they buy gifts for the kids, obviously, but then it's just that frustration of, okay, well, next year I'm going to make a point to ask, because his sister at one point was even like, oh, I thought we weren't doing gifts for anybody. And I'm like, oh, like,
Yeah.
I need to ask next year. Okay, what are we
Mhm.
doing? Are we buying gifts for the adults? Can we draw names? So,
Yeah,
and
Secret
it's
Santa
just
type thing.
buy for each
Because
other.
$80 is like a whole bill.
You
for a
know,
couple tanks of gas.
Yeah,
to go with it.
I'm like,
the
what
heck
are we
is?
doing right now? And so that, to me, that's that frustration for, figuring out coordination for sure. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Tony's side of the family started doing Secret Santa, and that has been so stress relieving to not have to figure out to buy for all of his like step siblings and their
Yeah.
kids and everything. That it's just one person.
yeah.
Yeah, with my immediate family, we typically do. My sister and I go in for one for the parents, and then we buy the kids. I mean, I can't show up to Christmas without something for Wyatt, you know.
Right.
So we do the kids, and then I don't think we really got much for each other this year, but finances are so different.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We generally just help each other out more throughout the year than anything. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Help when you need it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to the Growing Through Your 30s podcast and getting to know us a little bit more. And hopefully we'll see you in a couple weeks. We want to try and put out a podcast episode almost every 2 weeks. That's our kid-free weekends. So we can sit here and talk with you guys for a couple episodes a month. So thanks. Bye.
Bye.